After losing her parents, the most important thing to Dia was her family. She couldn't forgive anyone for threatening her family. And Marin was her family too. Marin took Dia's hand and patted it gently. Dia, you are family to me now. Who wouldn't attend a family wedding? I will definitely go. But then something terrible could happen to you, teacher. I'm certain His Majesty the Emperor isn't calling you simply to see your face. So I will go alone. His Majesty the Emperor won't invade the Western Duke's castle. Marin shook her head slowly. The national marriage had been decided ridiculously quickly. This alone would set tongues wagging in aristocratic society. But moreover, it would be a wedding without relatives present. She couldn't allow her dear Dia to experience such humiliation. No, I'll definitely go. Teacher. Dia called out to Marin as if begging her not to. Gerard would probably be against this too. I will convince my uncle. I'm against it too. I'll be there to watch Dia become the most beautiful bride in the world in place of your mother. So please don't take this chance away from me. Dia's eyes welled with tears at Marin's kind words. She hadn't realized Marin thought so much about her wedding. Teacher. I'm sorry, and thank you so much. I'm sorry too, and thank you for thinking of me. Let's get through these difficulties together. Yes. The two met each other's eyes and clasped hands tightly. First, let's start with the wedding dress. Edri dropped the catalogue she was holding onto the floor. Her eyes widened in surprise. What did you just say? I have to make a wedding dress for Her Highness the Crown Princess in 3 months? It was quite surprising, wasn't it? Marin handed water to the stunned Edri to calm her down. She felt sorry for always asking her to do things on such short notice. Oh my goodness. Edri took the glass of water and drank it in one gulp. At the invitation of the future Duchess, she had abandoned all her busy work and rushed to the Duke's castle. She had come hoping she could make Marin's wedding dress, but it turned out to be the Crown Princess's dress. A wedding dress, no less. She turned her stiff head and looked at diameter. When Dia pointed to the dress hanging on one side, Edri's gaze followed. The white satin dress adorned with delicate pearls was elegant and classic. Of course, to put it kindly, it was a somewhat outdated classic. It's my mother's wedding dress. Can you alter this and make it my wedding dress? At Dia's careful request, Edri released her breath. It would be an honor if you would trust me, Lady Diameter. They said the wedding would be in 3 months. If it were a new dress, she wouldn't have enough time even if she worked through every night from now on, but with such a beautiful foundation, she could save considerable time. Marin continued, relieved by her answer. So, designer, can you accompany us to the capital? Of course. I will follow you even if I must postpone everything else. Thank you. I am grateful to you for entrusting me with this honorable task. Edri bowed her head sincerely. Marin met her eyes and smiled. They had cleared the first hurdle. Late at night, beautiful moonlight gently falling. Marin headed to Bunny Bunny's treehouse. Tomorrow they would leave for the capital. That meant she would have to spend time away from Bunny Bunny again for a while. Bunny Bunny was in front of the treehouse, as if knowing she would come. Bunny Bunny. Your sister will be away from home for a while. I wish I could take you too, but I can't. Marin gently patted Bunny Bunny's head and whispered softly. Bunny Bunny's head tilted to one side. I won't be able to see you for a while, but I'll be back as soon as I can. In the meantime, have a good time with the knights. Bunny Bunny lowered her head with a dejected expression. She seemed to understand that she was being left behind. Marin hugged and patted Bunny Bunny, who was taller than her. Bunny Bunny gently rested her large head on Marin's shoulder. Warm. Such a beautiful being. What kind of frightening words would greet her when she arrived at the capital? What was the emperor planning? Marin continued to stroke Bunny as if clearing her complicated mind. Meanwhile, Gerard watched quietly from behind, careful not to disturb Marin and Bunny's time together. It had been a whirlwind of activity. Since they needed to arrive as quickly as possible to prepare for the wedding, their luggage for the capital was packed in a rush. Ruana looked at the ducal carriage as if seeing it with fresh eyes. I didn't know I'd be riding this carriage again. It may be difficult, but Mother has to come with us. Ruana nodded and smiled. The long journey to the capital must be difficult for Ruana, who was frail, but after that incident, Marin had no intention of leaving Ruana alone anymore. Ruana also understood what that meant and readily agreed. Julia, Elmies. Take care of Mother. Please leave it to us, my lady. Of course, my lady. Julia and Elmies answered simultaneously. After Ruana, Julia, and Elmies entered the ducal carriage first, Marin looked at the second carriage. Dia, Garnet, Ruby, and Peridot would be riding there. Garnet had a dissatisfied look on his face, but Ruby and Peridot seemed excited about the long journey. After that, several more carriages lined up in succession. Since many people were traveling to the capital, there was considerable luggage. Dozens of employees, including butler Sebastian and the head maid, stood in a line in front of the main building to bid farewell. I wish you a safe journey. Your Excellency the Duke, Lady Marin. Thank you. Yes. She was holding Gerard's hand and about to board the ducal carriage when Gerard pulled her back slightly. When she turned around with a puzzled look, he tilted his head to the side. When she followed his gaze, she saw Bunny watching her from a distance. Marin smiled even brighter on purpose and waved with both hands. Bunny. Your sister will be back. Beside the sulking Bunny, Eubus waved his hand and bid her farewell. Have a safe trip. The nobles in the capital were in an uproar over the news of the Crown Prince's marriage announced today. They couldn't believe the wedding date had been set so suddenly. As a result, rumors began to spread widely among the nobility. Smith, the Duke of the South, stood in front of the ornately carved door of the Emperor's office with a smile on his face. There were still few people who knew the story of the Duke of the West's fiancé. However, the Emperor, who must have heard the news more quickly, had summoned the Duke of the West and his fiancée to the capital under the pretext of a wedding. What on earth did the Emperor want? He was requesting this meeting to find out. You may enter, Duke of the South. The butler opened the door and stepped aside. Smith entered the office first, followed by two men groaning as they carried a luxurious box that looked heavy at first glance. They quietly placed the box on the floor, bowed politely to the Emperor, and then quickly departed. The Duke of the South greets His Majesty the Emperor. A strange look appeared in the eyes of the Emperor, who sat leisurely leaning against his desk. So, what brings you here, Duke of the South? The Emperor's voice was full of interest. I came here because I personally wanted to congratulate His Highness the Crown Prince on his marriage. Smith bowed his head with an ingratiating smile. Ha ha ha. Personally? Then shouldn't this go to the Crown Prince and not me? The Emperor burst into good-natured laughter. Smith raised his face, shifted his eyes, and smiled. It seems this suddenly arranged marriage is your Majesty's doing. What intention? I simply wanted to see my daughter-in-law quickly. The Emperor pretended ignorance and concealed his true feelings. I see. Smith smiled brightly and replied. Since I'm receiving congratulations anyway, what did you bring? The Emperor's eyes fell on the luxurious box. I heard supplies were running low these days. Smith gestured to the butler standing by the door, who opened the lid. The luxurious box was filled with sparkling diamonds. The Emperor's eyes curved with satisfaction. I'm very pleased that the South is always prosperous. Isn't it all thanks to your Majesty? The Emperor laughed and settled back in his chair. Do you have something to tell me? May I ask what you intend to do with the Duke of the West's fiancé?